Good morning, Year 2. It's Wonderful Wednesday, and today we're going to continue on to develop our knowledge on measurement using length and height by solving some more word problems. Now, these word problems are different to yesterday because you need to use your knowledge of division and multiplication. Let's start by looking at our in focus task. We can see in the picture there's a piece of wood that a carpenter has, and it measures 10 meters long. He cuts this piece of wood into 5 pieces. Each piece is now the same length, and we want to know how long is each piece of wood. Pause the video and talk to an adult to discuss how you might solve this problem and what you might do. Now, being a Year 2, we would hope that you would have used your knowledge of known multiplication facts to help you solve this problem. So we can see in the Let's Learn that we know the piece of wood is 10 meters long. We know it's cut into 5 parts of the same length, and therefore we want to know how long each piece of wood is. So we should know that 10 divided by 5 is 2. So each piece of wood is 2 meters long. Let's have a look at the next problem. Question number 2. This time the carpenter has another piece of wood that is 8 meters long. He wants to cut it into pieces of equal length. Each piece is 2 meters long. We want to know how many pieces of wood can he get out of this plank of wood. Stop the video and talk to your adult to see how you might solve this problem. Now, this problem is a grouping problem, because we know the total length of the piece of wood and we know how long each group should be, 2 meters. We want to know how many groups we can get. So hopefully you discussed with your adult that what we're trying to find out is how many times we can fit 2 meters into 8 meters. And of course the answer is 4 times. So we can say that either 2 times 4 is 8, or we could do it the other way around and share the 8 meters into 4 groups, because we know that 2 times 4 is 8, and therefore you would end up with 2 meter lengths and you'd have 4 of them. Let's move on to our guided practice. I want you to stop the video after I've read the question, try and solve the problem, and then I'll show you what we would talk about in class. So question 1. A rope is 20 meters long. It is cut into 10 pieces of equal length. What is the length of each piece? Feel free to draw on the image to help you. Now, hopefully you would have noticed and been able to talk about with your adult that this is actually a sharing problem. We know the total length of the piece of rope, and we know how many sections it is cut into, but we don't know the size of each section, or what we would say, each group. So this is where you need to use your known multiplication facts to help you. We know the length of rope is 20 meters. We know it's cut into 10 pieces, so we're sharing 20 meters into 10 different groups. If we use our multiplication factor, then we should know, and we already know, that 10 times 2 is 20. So therefore, each piece of length of rope measures 2 meters, because 10 times 2 is 20, or we could say 2 meters times 10 of them is 20 meters. So the length of each rope is 2 meters. Let's move on to question number 2 for guided practice. This time, a tailor, who is somebody who makes clothes, needs 3 meters of cloth to make one dress. How many dresses can he make with 18 meters of cloth? Again, pause the video to help you solve the problem. Hopefully you would have noticed that this is actually a grouping problem, because we know the length of each group and the total length of cloth, but we don't know how many of those groups we can fit into the total amount of cloth. So we need to think to ourselves, how many groups of 3 are there in 18? And that's the same as thinking 18 divided by 3 is 6. So if we multiply 3 by 6, we get 18 meters. And if we multiply 6 lots of 3 meters, we also get 18 meters. So hopefully the answer you got was the answer 6 dresses. Now it's time for your independent learning. Question 1. A rope is 40 meters long. It is cut into 10 parts of equal length. How long is each part? So use the image to annotate if you want to support you. Question 2. Lulu uses 45 centimeters of tape to wrap 5 identical presents. What is the length of tape she uses to wrap just one of those presents? Question 3. A 20-meter wire is cut into 4 parts of the same length. How long is each part of wire? Question 4. A stack of 10 identical dictionaries is 80 centimeters tall. How thick is each dictionary? Question 5. A carpenter needs 2 meters of wood to make a tabletop. How many tabletops can he make with 12 meters of wood? Question 6. A building is 70 meters tall. It has 10 stories of the same height. What is the height of each story? That's it for today, Year 2. That was a tricky session, but hopefully you tried the best you could. And I look forward to seeing you again on Friday for our last session based upon measurement of length and height.